Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, GPS Photography and Video. GPSPhotoandVideo.com brings you this podcast. Why photography and video? Because a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPSPhotoandVideo.com. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. And joining me, IFBB Pro Olympian Michelle Mensah is back on that podcast. Thanks again for joining me. Really appreciate you.
You're welcome. And thanks for having me again.
Of course. So when you look at it now, roughly coming up on 30 days before the Arnold's in Columbus, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling nice and calm. Just got to keep being me, as I've realized. Getting my training done, doing my prep. In terms of like getting my workouts done, routine is done, making sure, all those sparkly things are ready, bikini, I feel quite, I'm not that experienced. I'm still classed as a baby in this, as it's my third year. But I think in the last 3 years, I've done 13 shows or showings. So I feel like I'm in a groove now in terms of my prep.
So you go on, you get more and more comfortable. And like you said, 3 years, like, wow, you really blew up quick.
Yeah, I really did. I had to actually sit back and reflect on that after, people who followed my journey were like, you're still a baby in this. And I was like, so it made me a bit more calmer because it felt like I had so much to do in so little time. And then it was like, no, actually, you're just beginning. So I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
And of course, been checking out your YouTube, which everyone can go and subscribe to at ShellyFit_IFBB Pro. Letting everybody in, showing everything, a lot of great video and progress, and to tabulate your journey. So yeah, it looks great. So make sure everyone go out and subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Thank you. Yes. Again, before I didn't have a YouTube, or to be fair, I wasn't really into social media, but then I realized people got inspired by my journey, and that really touched me. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna share my life, not just me in the gym, like what I do, and also being a mom as well, because I want others to know that, don't let your life hold you back from your dreams. So that's the message I wanted to get across.
What would you say have been some of the most significant challenges on this journey?
Most significant, I would say juggling being a mom. Juggling family life can be quite challenging. But as my mom always said, there's options. Number one.
Yeah.
Let's discuss the options. Let's make a plan of action. So everything for me has to be planned and organized for it to run smoothly. Also, my daughter is an elite gymnast herself, so she competes just as much as me, maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe more. So I have to make sure that we get the right balance, making sure that, I'm there to support her, as well as when I'm competing, that I am being well supported as well. So having a great network of people around me has really helped me get through all those challenges. And also, again, training can be quite challenging sometimes when you have to do certain things, like pickups and, so I just take it in my stride. I know, so timings for me is everything. So if I know I have to do 45 minutes cardio, for example, or if I have to do 45 minutes for my routine, it doesn't matter when I get it done, as long as I get it done, I've realized. Right. And that consistency adds up.
How much are you involved in your daughter's training? Are you more or less her trainer, her coach, her manager, or do you just sit back?
So my daughter, when she first started, she was at my gym club where I was a gymnastics coach. I've been a gymnastics coach for, like 23 years. I coached up to national level, and then I went into bodybuilding. So by then she was pretty young, and she was in the recreational, which is a fun class for gymnastics. Then she got asked to squad. So at that point, I was overseeing everything. We would then go, when lockdown happened, we would go to the park, and I taught her, quite a few. She was tumbling with me. And that's when actually a lot of people noticed that I could do fitness, because I was going to just do figure.
Right.
And they were like, okay, we didn't know you can do this. So got to thank lockdown for that journey. And yeah, just opened my eyes to what is out there. Right. So I did train her then. And then she joined a club that I was at as well previously. So she went up a level, she progressed, and that club trained me. So I decided I'm going to give her over to them because they trained me at the end of the day. Right. I wanted to have her own journey. I don't want to be that mom that's like, I want her to do what she's doing for herself. Right. Very grateful that she's chosen gymnastics. Amazing. So we have that in common, but I would have been happy if she chose anything. Right. She also has other sports that I had no interest in when I was younger, like she does football. She's extremely good at it.
Football is in football or soccer?
Soccer. Yeah. She's very good at soccer.
Yeah.
Me, no, I wasn't good at that. So she's very good at that. She's in acting school as well. So she does acting.
Wow.
Singing,
okay.
Dance. She loves that. And martial arts. I wasn't too keen on the martial arts, although now I've been doing some lessons because I've been told I have, great potential to be a stunt artist.
Yeah.
That's another topic we can go on to. We'll go on to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So she does martial arts. She's already a black belt in Kung Fu, and now she's doing
nice.
So
well, the biggest thing is she can protect herself, which is important,
Yes. So that's why we put her in these things, as well as swimming. So she's very good at swimming. We put her in when she was 2, because all of this is functional skills, life skills. You just never know when you're going to be dunked in a pool of water. At least she'll survive.
Exactly. Yeah. And how old is she?
So she's going to be 12 in 2 weeks. Okay. 3rd of February.
Good stuff. So she's definitely following in your footsteps. Do you think she could be a future Olympian?
I think she can. I mean, the opportunities are there. I make sure that I can provide everything that I can. Work super hard, not just, training, but working right. To make sure that she can have, everything. Doors will be open to her if she wishes to go down that path.
Right. You got a lot of things going on outside of fitness.
I do.
Being an Olympian. I mean, talk to me about some of the things we talked about. You were in New York a few weeks ago. What's going on with that?
I just came back from New York yesterday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you was following my journey live.
Yeah, I really was. I said, well, dang, she said she's in New York. And I'm like, okay. Well, you fresh off the plane. That's good stuff. But that makes me feel even more gracious that you would come on to the Amazon's podcast after coming off the, I guess you had the red-eye flight back to the UK?
I did. Am I jet lagged? I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Talk to me about that. What you got going
on? Okay. So I've been in the modeling world for years before I even did bodybuilding.
Right.
Pretty known. I got scouted when I was 19, and
wow.
I mainly did beauty work, so just my face. No one really cared about my body. I also did some fashion work as well, on the editorial side. So editorial is magazine print.
Yep.
And then I also entered a competition called Top Model of Color over here. Nice. And I placed top 5, being one of the shortest. That was a big feat for me. So then, obviously, at that time, they were very into a certain look on the catwalk, in high fashion. So I went more down the editorial, magazine, print, and beauty work way, which I got a lot of work in.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with fitness, although I had a gymnastic background, as you know.
Right.
It wasn't until bodybuilding now I decided to park the modeling. For some reason, I was like, I don't know how that works with bodybuilding. And I wanted to immerse myself into that and see how far I can get to. And then I had an old friend of mine who is in the industry of modeling, and she was like, why are you not modeling still? Like, this is a look people would want. And I was like, I didn't think you would want this look, but you do. Okay, let's roll. Not knowing that the opportunities that got open to me are mind-blowing. As someone, they call me a muscle model, which is, you know, I don't know if I can fully accept that, even though I know that's who I am, because it's so amazing. But yeah, I'm a muscle model, and I ended up doing London Fashion Week, which is amazing. So I broke a lot of stigmas. Not only being, you know, I'm black, obviously you can see short, muscly, on a catwalk, and everyone was so nice, so welcoming. They absolutely loved seeing me there, you know, even the models themselves. So it just made me think, wow, you know, if you keep working and you show something, you know, show passion, it will be seen, and, you know, people would want to see that. So, and they also told me that the reason why they chose me is not necessarily because of my, you know, my muscle and all of that. They said, yes, that helps, but it's my personality. They said my personality exudes when I walk the walk on the runway. So that really opens my eyes. And then after that, I thought, okay, you know, let me see what I can do. So I wanted to do a project. So I contacted some photographers that I knew, and I wanted to show how feminine muscles can be. Again, breaking down another stigma, you know, because saying, yes, it can look feminine. You can have, you know, a certain amount of muscle and still feel great about yourself, and don't let others tell you otherwise. So I started that project, and, you know, it started with a few pictures, and before you know it, I had big opportunities coming my way saying, can you come and work for us on this company and this brand and this? And I was like, wow, okay. And before you know it, I'm doing big brands like ON and Loewe, or they call it Loewe. You know, Adidas, or would you call it Adidas? And, and you know, companies of that stature, magazine prints, but very big magazines. She just got published along with this campaign with FKA Twigs in Paper magazine, which is a huge magazine. And yeah, so that's what happened. So I think me making that initial step and then realizing I can merge my two worlds together brought me to this point. And so my latest campaign, actually I was in two before Olympia, was Loewe, which should be coming out, I think, at some point. It's got a little teaser on there, so if you check out the site, you will see me.
What does Loewe specialize in?
Pardon?
What does Loewe specialize in? What's their
designer handbags? They make unique crafted pieces. So like bodices and corsets out of materials that will blow your mind. I know I said that word so many times, but it does.
Yeah, hey, definitely go check it out, for real.
So check it out. It's spelled Loewe. And then you have the ON campaign. So I am involved with FKA Twigs. So it's her training line, and it's called The Body is Art. So she is expressing, you know, movement and how the body can work in various different ways through her clothing line that she has collabed with ON. So I am part of that campaign, which is a global campaign. I just saw myself on a poster in New York.
Nice.
And I'm here outside Selfridges as well. There's a like a monitor, and you can see the whole advertisement on there as well. You can spot me in various different places, hanging from a rope.
Really?
So utilizing my bodybuilding skills. And so I did that just before Olympia. It came out, as I said, in January, and then I got flown to New York to do, we did a training part of that. So we carried on the campaign and decided to do training. And FKA Twigs, she invited various trainers to do that for that training activation in New York, which was 100 people. And, they all come from various different backgrounds. So I got a chance to create my own segment. So I had to develop it. I had to come up with the theme. I had to come up with how I'm going to present it as well. And I decided to go with fitness. Okay. So I went with the theme of fitness. Zone. So stayed in my comfort zone. So what I did is I gave the history about fitness, bodybuilding, what it's about. Then I went and broke down the 4 mandatory skills in fitness. So we played around with the splits, press ups. We played around with the holds, the straddle holds as well, and the kicks. And then I made them in the end make their own combination up, which they loved. They told me afterwards. So that's what I did. I also demoed myself, showed an example of what fitness is about. We also went through being creative and, transitions as well. So that's pretty much what I did for my segment. On the day, it had like yoga, sound bath. They also had a warm-up meditation, and they also had dance choreo, as well as mine. So mine was the high-impact strengthening session.
That makes you so well-rounded, and quite frankly, I believe it gives you a significant advantage with you coming into fitness. And like you said, both worlds have merged, but it's an advantage because you epitomize what the title would be. They were saying muscle. What they said, muscle what? Muscle
model.
Muscle model.
Yeah.
Replace that with fitness model, because you can do both worlds, and you talking runway, advertising, editorials, but at the same time, we're coming to fitness. And you mentioned Adidas. What did you do for them?
So them again, it's the same sort of thing, gym wear based,
right?
Just showing empowerment in terms of women and being strong. All these brands that have approached me have wanted one thing, and that's for me to be myself.
That's great, and that's important too, because, like I said, you're in your comfort zone, but at the same time, you basically could say you stepped out of your comfort zone doing fitness and being an Olympian versus being a model, because that's come natural to you because you've been doing it so long. So now you merge both worlds. I believe that's a huge advantage when you talk about stage presence, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely. I have to say, working on a film set has helped my performance, and I hope you can see that when I do step on stage again at the Arnold's, which I'm super excited about. And all these opportunities came up, at the same time. Right. That's what the universe wanted. So here we are. But I have to say, it did teach me a lot about, presenting myself, not just in that world, but again, as you said, in fitness, in the bodybuilding world and what I do. So I do think I'm going to be going on stage, still myself, but maybe with a twist.
Right.
And I hope, people will enjoy.
I'm sure they will. I know they will. I know I did in Atlanta when you did the Black Panther routine. And so, yeah.
Yeah. This year is, we'll see if you can guess what I'm doing.
I was leading up to that.
That would be the fun of it. I'm not telling anything.
You're not going to tell it? Okay.
Well, I won't press you on it. I have merged my 2 worlds together, so this is what this year is about.
Good stuff. So many opportunities. You got a lot going on. Really appreciate you talking to me. Goals. When you look at that from the standpoint of being a model, fitness model, runway model, muscle model, as they categorize it, all your both worlds have merged. What do you see your goals? Do you see stuff like your own clothing line down the road? You're obviously already coaching and doing posing, stuff like that. And then, of course, with the gymnastics, what is your ultimate goal in the end, or have you thought that far out? You just enjoying the ride?
I'm just enjoying the ride. I actually haven't thought that far out. The reason why is before I started doing bodybuilding, I would think about everything, like overthink it really overthink it. Maybe still do to an extent, but I'm a lot calmer. I'm a whole different person. I've evolved. But I decided I just want to go with the flow. Like, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. That's the most exciting part of my life right now. I could just get a call tomorrow and I have to go somewhere. And this has happened, just have to jump on a plane. So, and that's just it. So I just want to take every day as it comes and just enjoy it, because you just don't know what's around the corner, Life's too precious to get yourself bogged down and think that, oh gosh, I can't do that and I can't do that and I can't do that. No, I'm just going to live in the moment and, whatever challenges come up, tackle it head on and keep moving. That's what I'm going to be doing. And to be fair, doing that makes me feel very good, very, at peace with myself. I've also noticed me being at peace means my family and friends are at peace because I'm all calm. So, it works in, mysterious ways. So I'm just loving what I'm doing. The fact that I can do what I love for work, is amazing. It's actually a dream come true. So, and then just show others that your dreams can all come true, because I've had several dreams come true at this point. I don't know how much more I can take, but I'll take it, obviously, and very
just enjoy
grateful.
the ride. Take it as it comes.
Exactly.
I will want to ask you is, how do you see yourself management? Okay, you got the Arnold's coming up, and so you get a call from New York and say, hey, can you come do this X, Y, and Z? And all, obviously contractually obligations, but talk to me about, has it been a factor now, managing both worlds, getting ready for competition versus all the other, so many of the other attractions that's coming to you and opportunities?
No, because I've realized they work around my schedule if they really want me.
There you go.
There you go. Also, they do look after me very well in terms of like my food. They, when I did the campaign just before Olympia, they made sure I had the food that I could eat. They made sure, I had the least amount of stress in terms of travel. And they also made sure that, I can get my training in as well. So when I was in New York, I ended up visiting Steve Weinberg's gym.
There you go.
So there you go. I've probably trained more than I would train here. I went a bit wild. So I would say I was very on point with that. My food was taken care of. And what else could I ask for? So I was able to do
and you're on the billboard in New York, people driving through traffic and crashing, but they look up and they see you.
And then the work that I do is also quite strenuous to, the person not doing it. So me hanging from a rope, me, training 100 people, that's all cardio, that's all training. And I also have to demo my routine, segment of a routine. So that's me practicing my fitness skills. So I'm still working out. Might be a bit different, but I'm still getting it done. So I just see it as that, because my line of work is still in the sports remit.
Yeah, it is.
And big brands, they do look after you and make sure that, at the end of the day, they see it as you are an athlete and that's why they chose you. So why would they deter you from doing that? And
obviously they're compensating you very well, flying you everywhere. And so, hey, this is incredible. This is exciting, and congratulations. Let me say that.
Thank you.
So when you look at, Missy Truscott, she's no longer fitness. She's going on to figure.
Yes.
So the fitness world is wide open. They will crown a new Miss Fitness Olympia this year. And why not you?
Why not?
What have been your thoughts on that aspiration, or did you even really think about it when you heard that she was going to figure and leaving fitness?
So me and Missy spoke. Missy, so it's been really nice to me, and when we do see each other, we have conversations. So yeah, you know what? I wished her all the best. And as for all the other fitness girls, I've made so many friends, and we're like a family.
Yes.
As I
But
say,
you're such a small niche
may
group.
the best
Yeah.
women win on the
There you
day.
go.
You know, we all put in the hard work. We're all talented at this point.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us have families as well. So I know that I can be in the running, yes, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it my all.
Right.
That I do
What?
know. But I know everyone else is doing the same. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so my aim is to put on a show, feel good, and I know that will equal whatever results that, you know, will be given to me.
Right.
And it's a journey for me. You know, I absolutely love what I do. It doesn't matter about the placings to me like that.
Mhm.
If I feel really good and I win,
Mhm.
wow, yeah, you know.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, I want to feel good. I want to love what I do. I want to show that I'm having fun. I want to, you know, I want you to be like, whoa, she put on a performance,
Yeah.
whether I place or not. And that, to me, you know, is satisfying. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And I,
you've seen my passion.
yes.
And I
Live
think
on
that's
stage. Yes.
exactly. And I think that's what's got me this far is,
Mhm.
you know, the audience feeling my passion as well as the judges,
Right.
most importantly.
When you look at it now and looking at the schedule, the Arnolds, what else jumps out at you as something you want to do?
Olympia.
Start the schedule. Yeah, the Olympia, of course. But are we talking 2 shows before Olympia, 3 shows, one and done? I mean, you know, because
I
there is
want
a
to see what
reason.
happens at the Arnold's. I never
Yeah,
make plans. I've never made plans
right,
until I've done one show.
right. And then, of
I've done
course, with
this.
fitness, the risk, you know, injury and everything else as well. And you want to be at your best
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. So I can understand that as well.
Yeah. So whatever happens at the Arnold's, then I will make a plan very quickly straight after
Yeah,
what will be the next step. But I like to, again, live in that moment, not thinking, oh, okay, well, I've decided to do 5 shows,
right, right,
putting all this pressure on myself
right.
when I don't even know what's going to happen at the Arnold's.
Yeah,
So I will do that, and then we'll go from there. But I know that my aim this year, like last year, is to make it to Olympia. So whatever
right,
that may be, if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows, I'm going
right.
to be at Olympia. But I hope not. It won't be that many shows anyway.
Yeah,
Well, there's not
yeah,
that many
right.
in fitness this year, so
Because I
it
mean,
can't
once
be.
you qualify, you want to be like, okay, now you got to be smart, and
Yes.
and you being fitness, uh, you guys are much more strenuous, high risk maneuvers, and injury is more prevalent than say in the other categories. You know, I mean, yeah, you could get a workout injury, torn bicep, something like that,
Hmm.
but in your world, you know, anything can happen. A bad fall, bad tumble, and that's why we talked so much about the flooring last time. Um, when you look at that, I mean, and hopefully they will do something where they'll change the flooring. Like when in
Yeah.
Atlanta, was the flooring pretty much good. The thing I liked about Atlanta is that you guys came out, it was separated. Your routine was separated from your posing, and so that gave you
Yes.
time to. And I like the way that was done.
Yes, that to me is important because that way we're able to then, you know, get some fuel
Hmm.
in,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, which is important. So Atlanta, I love the show Atlanta. I love the way it was organized. You
yeah.
know, the timing was adequate between posing and the routine segment.
Right,
The flooring, I mean, it's we that's what we do. We do
right,
stage flooring, so you
right,
know we have to learn that flooring is going to be different because venues are different.
right,
One thing though that I loved is it wasn't slippery. So
right.
I can't do things on a slippery floor because
No,
you know it can be hard as anything. Like that doesn't bother me, but slipperiness, no. So you know I had really good grip, so I was happy with that. And that's what counts with me because of my power. I need grip.
right. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So Arnold's floor in the US has always been nice.
Hmm.
Um, got carpet normally down. I think the something's in the stage where it's a little bit of a give. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've always felt comfortable on that stage. In fact, I feel like my best routine I put out there so far, this one could top it, was my James Brown one on my first ever Arnold's USA. So
Good stuff.
it's just because I had so much fun. And the audience was hyped. And, you know, as I said, I'm all about feelings. I think I did the Olympia. The Olympia was so amazing, but I felt like, because I was new, nobody knew me. I don't know. There's all sorts of thoughts going on in my head. And I just want to enjoy this moment. You know, regardless of what happens, I am on the Olympia stage.
Yeah.
So that was a whole nother feeling. Very, very new at that point as well. So once I did Olympian, I was like, okay. Then I got invited to the my first ever Arnold's USA. I was like, way more different and calm. So that's probably why I would say that routine was great to me, because of how I felt.
Right. Well, I mean, did you happen to take a peek at the Olympia TV comparisons when they were talking about fitness, or?
Yes, I did.
Gave you a big shout out.
I know, right? Yeah. They did. I swear, I nearly welled up. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, you don't realize what people see. So I was like, okay, let's keep doing my thing.
Everybody knows who you are now. You're not going to sneak up on anybody. So,
yeah, that's true. I think that,
embrace it and let's go.
Yeah, literally, let's go. Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I am so excited though. Yeah. I just love being on stage, and
it shows.
Yeah, and what a way to open up.
You mentioned your height. From the modeling standpoint, did they thought you were too short? How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, so ideally they probably wanted a 5'7", 5'9" I mean, but that's a stereotype too, because especially in modeling, they think, well, you should weigh X, Y, and Z. You should be a certain height, but to appeal to the masses, and especially as of late, when you look at clothing brands over the last 3-5 years, even longer, everything's sort of changing and migrating to it looks more mainstream from the standpoint that just like in bodybuilding, when people say, yeah, I can look like that, versus in the modeling world, if you're like 5'7" and 105, 5'9", under 120 pounds, it's really just a stigma in what people think. What's been your whole thought processes when you look at that? Because obviously you're being embraced as a muscle model. I would say fitness model, because that's what you are, and that epitomizes your name. Yeah. But well-rounded, I mean, and you've been embraced by it. So what's your take on it from, because you can't grow any taller. Everybody can get bigger muscles, but you can't grow height.
No, I can't grow height. So, I remember when I first entered the modeling world, I did feel like, I can never be 5'9",
right,
or 5'10", or, those heights. So once I think that sort of disappointment went out of my head, I was like, right, I've just got to embrace what I have, because clearly they see something, or else they wouldn't, directed me to the modeling industry.
Exactly. Right.
So that's what I did. And before you know it, I started to get, jobs that wouldn't necessarily, people would get of my height, of my stature, and, my proportions. So it just shows that, again, if you love what you do, it will show. You will get, the opportunities will come up. So I think that's what happened with me. I've always loved modeling. The reason why is because it tells a story. Well, I like to tell a story through my images. Modeling to me is not just about me standing there. I'm very out the box. I like to do different poses. The body is a beautiful thing. We can create, various different genres, and just by expression, through movement. So that's pretty much what I like to portray through my images. And then before you know it, I got hired for this particular style.
Right.
And that's what's been recognized now by bigger brands as well.
And
yeah.
That's it. You're good for their brand. So I'm gonna let
Yes.
you out of here on this question. How would you quantify your brand, the brand of yourself, of what you do in fitness, overall modeling? What is your brand?
My brand is be the best version of yourself. I've always said. My motto has always been dream it, believe it, and achieve it. So you dream it. If you believe it, you can achieve it. It's always been me. And you have to embrace what you have been given. You know, you can, of course, enhance it in whichever way you wish, but you have to think to yourself, what have I been given? I never look at other people and think, oh, I wish I had that and I wish I did this. I have to be myself, and that is enough for the world, clearly.
It is. And you're on the scene now. Everybody knows who you are. IFBB Fitness Olympian Michelle Mensah. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. It's been a joy as usual.
Yes, it's always a pleasure and honor for me. Now more so because like when you first reach out to someone in the podcast, you're like, okay, and they accept it, but then they find out how big you are, is in yourself, and you are like, wow, I did not know you had all that going on. And so I'm glad to know you and glad to find out more about you as well. So now I'm even a bigger fan. So it's like,
thanks, I appreciate that.
Because you never know who you're talking to, And
don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly. And you are huge, and you're gonna keep doing bigger and better things. And so I'm excited to share and be a part of this journey. So make sure everyone subscribes to your YouTube channel, Shelly _ IFBB, Shelly Fit _ IFBB Pro,
yeah.
and of course her Instagram. And anybody you want to plug before we jump out of here?
No, I just want to thank my whole entire team. They're probably watching this as well, because I know they love to follow my journey. My friends, my family. I have everyone will say their team's the best, but my team is really the best when it comes to handling myself.
Right. You got So they're not. Why are you with them?
Yes, they keep me together. Nothing's too much for them or too little, and the care is second to none. So yeah, just want to shout out to them for getting me this far, but we still got work to do. So let's go.
All the best at the Arnold's, and I'll see you there.
Yep, see you there.
Talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. IFBB Fitness Pro Olympian Michelle Mensah, on her way to the Arnold's, model, as they call it, muscle category or muscle model. So that just goes to show that people are always out there looking, and they are looking for the fitness brand and the bodybuilding brand. And so she's found her niche, and all the best to her. And that just goes to show you never know who's watching, who's going to come out and say, hey, you're great for our brand. And she's crossed over from being a model prior. That makes her so much more huge, I think, in the fitness world, because it just comes together. And we talk about stage presence and everything like that. So brands are out there. They're out there looking for it, just how you put yourself out there. And she's got it going on. Looking forward to seeing her at the Arnold's. Make sure that you subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I definitely want to give you a shout out. Really appreciate it, because when you do more, I can do more. And of course, all the subscribers on the YouTube channel and Instagram. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. Coming up next week, next Saturday, Teresa Alvancic will join me at noon. So make sure you tune in to see the podcast at that time. Until then, talk soon.